Good morning, everyone. Hi, I'm Mary Amy, and this is Living in the Light. I'm all about shifting away darkness, guiding you to your true potential, and cracking open that beautiful glowing light in your heart that you were born with. Good morning. So here I am back at 11. My schedule is going to kind of change here and there, so just be prepared for that. It's a beautiful day. I'm living in New York. Where are you living in? Please share in the chat. I hope you like the video and subscribe to the channel. Well, there's a lot going on. Do you feel it? Do you feel like there's a new version of you that's just coming online? I do. I get some bursts of energy. I get, I'll feel very tired, and then all of a sudden, whoop, I'm just feeling great again. So today we are going to cover topics like Ascension Gateway. What exactly is that? That's a doorway for you, isn't it? Prepare for the coming. End of times, of course, I'll mention angels and psychic phenomenon. I just want to start out by saying there's so much going on out there, and we know that. We can sense that. We can see it. And so that's why I'm covering these topics like end of times, because the world as we know it is changing rapidly. Every single minute, moment, every breath we take, it's altering and it's evolving into a greater place to exist. And I'm very excited about that. Now we're going to learn that whatever has happened to us up until this moment, we're going to have to begin to forgive those out there that maybe have harmed us or hurt us, for us to really ascend, for us to really come from a place of peace ourselves. You see, as we carry around in our heart, because that's where the pain is, maybe some of it's in your mind, you're carrying around memories of pain, memories of being hurt, something that has traumatized you, or you feel like, you know what? I don't really like that person. Oh, you know what? That really damaged me, and now I'm forever going to be resentful. But, we were going to have to learn to forgive. We're going to have to learn to forgive ourselves and forgive others who have harmed us. So forgiveness is forgiving, deliberate decision to release pain that you've received, some kind of resentment towards a person. Oh, I'm getting ringing in the ear. And, I'm saying that because, I've had to go through that myself, and you might as well have to. As we ascend, as we reach a higher consciousness and a self-realization that it's not just us in the world, the meaning of life, that we're all connected, there's oneness, we will have to forgive ourselves and others for any harm, to kind of get to the next place, to get to the next moment in our life and wherever we want to head. Now, if we don't forgive others and forgive ourselves, we are blocking our progress. We are blocking our destiny, our desires, our wishes, our dreams. So I'm making that suggestion right now. Now, Ascension Gateway. So the Ascension Gateway, what is that exactly? Oh, by the way, I didn't even remind everybody. Did you guys have any dreams last night? Some kind of, a dream is an involuntary visual imagery. And so it's thoughts, it's sensations, it's a feeling of hidden truths. And, maybe messages and signs and symbols come through for you during your sleeping life. So if you do have a dream, I suggest that you write it down and you take note of it, because it might guide you in your future. It might take you to your destiny. And also it might problem solve for you. So my suggestion is in the morning to write down your dreams as soon as you wake up, and also to have a good intention, which is an intention is having your best enthusiastic, intention, something that you really want to do well at. And your intention is important. So I say, pay attention to your dreams, tune into your heart. How is your heart feeling today? We're going to get into our clair senses, but how is your heart feeling today? Are are you feeling happy, sad? You're feeling indifferent? You feel just good? You feel relaxed? Whatever it is, I suggest that you tune into your heart because no one else has those answers out there for you except you do. And also, it might guide you throughout the day if you tune into your heart. Because let's say you're not feeling at your best and you have a lot that you have to accomplish, you might very well kind of start to kind of fight within yourself to uh, achieve something more than you can because you're just not feeling at your best. So, like today, I feel like a little bit more tired than usual. I have that job in the Matrix, and I feel a little bit more tired. So I'm a little bit slower on the take. So if you notice that, it's because I'm a little tired. However, I'm accepting that and I'm just saying, okay, I'll just surrender to it. Like I say surrender to your clair senses. So Ascension Gateway, what is that? Do you know what that is, that Ascension Gateway? Well, we know what the Ascension is, right? The Ascension is that we are moving our belief system. We are moving to a higher consciousness, to a belief system about love, light, peace, personal happiness, serenity, calmness of the spirit. And when we gain access to the ascension, when we awaken, maybe you were feeling as though you weren't yourself, and you were feeling as though you weren't quite understanding what was going on out in the world. It didn't really make much sense. 2 + 2 isn't equaling 4 anymore. It's because you had been under mind control. You had been given amnesia. You basically had your memory wiped and you forgot who you were. But as soon as you awaken, it's like this. You just say, oh, now I know where I am. Now I know who I am. And so you begin to trust yourself more. And you begin to love yourself more. And you begin to realize that there's another reality. There's another reality out there. You don't have to be living in this physical matrix with all these rules and regulations and mind control and programming. That's what the television is. The television is basically a support system for mind control. It tells you exactly what you should be thinking, when you should be thinking it, what you should be doing 24/7. And then if you look, there's not really a lot of escape from that. You're going to have to escape from the matrix on your own. You're going to have to break free from the chains on your own. Yes, you've been imprisoned. So this Ascension Gateway is an opportunity for you to leave the matrix. So I hope you do. Welcome if you have. Welcome if you've woken up. So it's an opening that has been closed. And now it's open, this Ascension Gateway. It's an opening now that is open and you have access to it. So as your journey takes off, you're going to be able to have a glimpse of a call to action. You'll be able to choose your own path. Maybe you'll start seeking a new way of life. I've realized I don't want to live there anymore. I want to live in this new reality on New Earth Gaia. We've all been incarnated on this earth together. And so let's hopefully more of us will begin to awaken, and begin to realize that you don't have to have control over your thoughts from others. You don't have to conform. You can kind of do your own thing. You can say, you know what, I'm not so interested in that. Now, we've spoken about this invisible line that surrounds us. It's about 12 inches from our body. And no one's allowed to come into your space unless you give permission, mentally, physically, emotionally, spiritually. And so we're beginning to seek a new way of life. And together, there's more of us every single day that are realizing this and that are coming online. They're getting light codes. Their DNA is activating. You have your own blueprint for your DNA. You're an authentic being of light. And so as we ascend, more of ourselves come online, and we realize that we don't really have to live the way we did before. And we can figure out what we want to do. We can have our own pathway. We don't necessarily want to conform anymore. So I believe it's essential for us to forgive others, like I've mentioned. So it's a deliberate decision to release resentment towards others. So you're following your intuition. You're going to begin to feel as though your old self is disappearing, and your new self is coming online. You're beginning to feel like a little uncomfortable, a little lost, as you're traveling through this ascension gateway, this portal, this doorway to another reality where joy and wisdom and grace and relief and inner peace are going to come forward. And you're going to learn about yourself. Now, we've been considering ourselves as victims. This happened to me, I'm injured, I'm hurt. And so we've been living in a place, our mental state, our belief system is that we are victims. Things happen to us. And that's going to begin to change as you ascend, as you enter this gateway, this ascension gateway. Anyone who's joining us, please like the video and subscribe to the channel. And so you're going to be realizing that that's not going to happen anymore. You're not going to become a victim. You're going to become more empowered. You're going to have the ability to gain access to a new spirit and heart within you. Now, it's always been there, but you weren't necessarily connected to it. Like I've said to you, okay, tune into your heart. How are you feeling right at this moment? What are you sensing about yourself? Because there really cares that much. Maybe a mom cares for their child, but everyone's really on their own path, their own journey. They're seeing it from their eyes only. We can only see 1% of what's going on out there in the world because of the way light hits our eyes, the way we see. So it's important. It's very imperative. It's very relevant for you to be tuning into your senses. Because, here's my little puppy dog, Elsa, who's sitting on the couch behind us, right? And and I'm going to show you Elsa, little baby Elsa. There's Elsa right there. See her? And so she's going to get a grooming today. You're not even going to recognize Elsa. And so all the living things out there, all these creatures, these living creatures out there, they are able to sense so much more than we can. They receive all the frequencies, and we basically are just sucking it up into our nervous systems, and we don't realize how much damage it's doing to us. We would live hundreds of years if there wasn't all of this damage to ourselves. Between the frequencies and all the energies and all the negativity and all the competitiveness and the materialism and the foods that we're eating. I've been saying to everyone, has your appetite changed? And are there foods out there that you can't necessarily eat anymore? And that's been happening to me gradually because I am evolving and more light is coming into my system. Hey, Keith, 1,000 years. Hi, Angel. Thanks for joining us. Oh, Keith, I've been kind of my schedule's flipping around. So it might be in the morning. It might be at night. Last night I did a 7 o'clock and I got some new newbies on. One was called Circle and one was called Music. Aren't those interesting usernames? And so we're just referring to Ascension Gateway. And so I was just mentioning about my system and how my eating, it's not by choice. My system is just not allowing me to eat certain foods anymore. But you know what I was realizing today? I said to myself, why is that so puzzling to me? Because if I'm ascending and more light's coming into my system and, all the darkness is kind of escaping me and there's pretty soon just going to be light. Why would I be able to take in all these artificial man-made foods? Of course I won't be able to. I'm only going to be able to eat the healthy stuff, the organic, the just very healthy foods. So it's interesting. I have to just change my mindset. So this ascension gateway, this opening that is now you've now accessed, you're going to have entry to a new spirit and heart connection to yourself. Oh, I've cut out all dairy and most meat. Body just doesn't like it anymore. More fruit. Yeah, well, I no beef and pork for me. I'm just chicken and fish, and that's about it. Chicken and fish when it comes to meat for me. I'm not really into the soy. I don't like that soy so much. So as you enter, you're going to feel more as you pass through this ascension gateway. Now we're going to be continuing along this. It's not just one gateway that you're going to travel through. You're going to be traveling through more and more as you ascend. It's like another version. You might be receiving light, and you might feel like these light codes are coming open upon you, or you're receiving visuals before you go to sleep, as you're awakening. And it's a process. There are these symptoms that you're going to encounter, but it's not going to just be overnight. It's going to take time. I've been going through it for a year, an official year of these ascension symptoms. And I'm getting used to it. You might wake up in the middle of the night at 4 a.m. every day for a week and say, I don't know what that is. But you're gaining something. It's because when we go into rest, it's the time that all of our light codes can activate. When we're busy doing activities, it's hard. I suggest you get outside if you can in nature today. I'm planning on doing it, and spend 5 to 15 minutes. Find some solitude, some stillness. Being cooped up all day is not good for us. That's why on New Earth Gaia, where we are sending to our official destination, 5D, we're welcome, new timeliners. Welcome to Ascension, the Ascension Gateway. Here we are. When we get there, it's just going to be all about, tuning into ourselves, telepathy, free energy. We're going to utilize the ether and the water. And we're going to allow ourselves to love each other. We're not going to be knocking each other out of the way to get to a prize. We're all going to find our purpose. We're all going to find our destiny. We're going to realize that there's not just 3 authentic characteristics that we have within us. Maybe you have the most beautiful brown eyes. You're amazing at, doing math, or you can sing wonderfully. You're going to realize you have 100 beautiful, authentic characteristics that make you your truest self. That's what's going to happen when we get through. But as we process this, and as we transform and evolve to our truest, most authentic self, we are going to be passing through a few ascension gateways. So you will enter and feel more of yourself, more organic, more natural. And there won't be so many attachments, and you won't really accept all those attachments. All those attachments that you've been giving life, that have been kind of coming into your mindset, you're going to leave those attachments, that big sack of attachments, those belief systems that are going over and over and over again on television. Some of those shows now, I'm realizing that programming on the television, those TV shows, those primetime shows on those major networks and cable stations. Have you seen some of those themes and storylines? It's all about demons and murder and crimes and heinous acts. That's going to just go away. There isn't going to be any of that, because we know that the solar flash is coming as well, and everything will knock out all of our Wi-Fi and our technology. And we're not going to need that anymore, because we're going to be communicating telepathically. We're not going to need all of that television anymore. It's useless. And so there's going to be less of this artificial man-made. In fact, all of it's like that going to disappear. And our memories are going to kind of be wiped clean of this matrix we've been living in. So it's this opening This opening now that we all have access to, everyone has access. They have an opportunity to walk through this ascension gateway. They might say no. Be prepared. You might have family and friends that say, you know what? I'm comfortable living in the matrix. Even though everything just doesn't add up, I'm going to stay here. I'm going to stay here for the duration. And you might feel a little bit lonely, like we mentioned yesterday. It's a good idea to find like-minded beings, people that you feel as though beings that you feel that are supportive of you. Maybe it's going to be on the internet, on the YouTube channels or the social media. It might take time for you to search out there, but be aware, have discernment for those that come into your life. They might try to corrupt your ascension because they don't really want to hear about it. Those in the matrix are saying, oh, that you're a conspiracy theorist. You're cuckoo. Oh, it's all that spiritual mumbo jumbo. Because they don't want to hear about it. They just want to get on with being normal. Normal is not fun. It's not heaven on earth out there. It's hell. But you know what I'm going to share with you? As more of us awaken, and we're climbing out of the matrix, we're getting away, we're just running away, or we're awakening like that. We're having a spiritual awakening, a Kundalini awakening, a mystical experience. I've been saying to you, let's activate our third eye. Let's take those amethysts and put it on our third eye chakra. Now, if that's not working for you, you want to imagine brilliant, illuminating white light hitting your third eye right here between your two eyebrows, and just ask for light to come into your system. Spend time in nature. It will happen. If you ask for it, it will come forward. So this passageway that is opened, that has been there, now it's found by you. It's been there. It's been there for a while. It's just taken time for you to realize it. So now that you see this doorway, this gateway to another reality, pass into it, pass through it. It's going to bring more of you online. You're going to connect with your heart and your spirit. Those that have been, living in the matrix, those beings out there that have decided they don't want to ascend. They're blind to it. They have service to self. They're really obsessed with materialism and everything that you have. And this is the most fantastic pen because it costs $300 and it writes better than any other pen. That's an illusion. That's a way of keeping you controlling you. That's all artificial. That's man-made. It's about what's in here. It's about what's in here. It's about your emotions, your feelings, your senses, your spiritual being. The meaning of life, that's what it's about. They're about service to self. They're consumed by materialism and ego. So maybe at first this pathway, this ascension gateway, each one of these gateways that you're traveling through, you're going to be lifting up more and more, and it's going to seem like old stuff to you. Maybe some of what I'm saying to you is so old. You said, oh, I've been ascending for quite a while. That's nothing to me. But those of you that are just beginning, who've just woken up like this, and you're saying, oh, there's a new reality out there. I don't have to be living in this place. I have free will. There's the laws of the universe. Now, the ways that they're getting around it, the way the evil is getting around it, is they're just putting it in our face. They're placing in our face everything they're doing. And some people turn a blind eye and they say, oh, I don't want to look at it. I don't want to look at it. And they're being complacent. And they just want to go about their business. And they say, oh, well, this pen is so fantastic. It's worth so much. Nothing bad is going to happen to me. But every single decision that you make matters. When you pull out of the driveway, you're going right or you're going left. And every single thing that comes before you and every single direction you take matters. If you do something that's not kind to someone else, it will have an effect on you. We spoke about cause and effect. Every thought that you have matters. It's a vibration. It carries an energy. That's how we can be telepathic. There's feelings and thoughts attached to it. It has power. It's a charged impulse. So if you go about your day and those out there who are going about their day and you say, oh, they got away with it. No one's getting away with anything. They're putting everything in your face. They're doubling down. They're trying to desensitize you. Evil is trying to desensitize you so that you don't feel so much or you don't think it's such a big deal. Everything's a big deal if it's harming someone else. If someone's mentally, physically, verbally harming someone else, it's a big deal. And maybe you say, oh, it's not happening to me. It's nothing. You know, if someone does something to someone else, they're eventually going to do it to you. I always say that to my friends. So if someone shows you who they are, remember it. Don't forget, because it might just happen to you. So we can't be complacent. Your path might seem at first uncomfortable, unusual, distant, uneasy, awkward, but have confidence that the truest version of you will emerge. It's coming. It's exciting. And each step you take towards love and hope opens your heart and your being, and everything will become more natural for you after a while. In time, after this moment, it will. You know, it's about just changing your thoughts, how you see things. That's all it is. You can change your destiny. You can take a quantum leap like this by just changing a thought, by processing things a different way. You know, when we're injured and we're hurt, then we block ourselves if we don't get through it. So I suggest getting through everything that bothers you. And maybe at first you're not even going to be aware of it. And then all of a sudden a memory will come up and you'll say, oh, I don't want to deal with that. That's too painful. I can't deal with that. But guess what? Because you're ascending, you can't look back. You can't go back into the matrix. You've already seen what's on the other side. You've seen the love and the light and the hope. It's exciting. Anyone who's joining us, please like the video and subscribe to the channel. So this ascension, you're rising to a higher level. You're moving to a more powerful place for yourself. Your personal power is coming up. You know, as you ascend, you're going to find that you have more energy. You're going to maybe look younger. Not maybe, you will. You'll begin to look younger because less stress. The more stress we have on our body, it starts to show up physically. As you ascend and you get through this ascension gateway, you're going to start to look in the mirror and you're going to say, oh, I look better today. Stress ages us. It takes a toll on us physically. So when you release everything inside of you that's darkness, when you overcome it, when you engage with it, you embrace everything that's happened to you because you've been living in this victim mentality, then you're going to be looking younger and more youthful. And you'll be feeling better. You'll feel more confident. You'll feel more hopeful. So we're going up to a higher consciousness, to a higher mental state, a mindset, a state of elevated awareness and perception. Anyone who's joining us, please tell me where you're from and please like the video and write in the chat. Like the video if you deem so. So it's going to allow individuals to develop a deeper meaning and understanding of nature and reality. So after we begin to ascend, we're going to start to see anomalies out there. We're going to see them in our own life, and we're going to see them in our physical reality. We're going to start to see anomalies. So anomalies are not easily classified. They're not normal. It's something out of the ordinary. It's a deviating from standard. So you'll start to see that. Right now, we're beginning to see anomalies out there. You know, they speak about the butterfly effect, the Mandela effect. You know, did that really happen, or were we mistaken? Those out there, you know, leaders out there are going to begin to take back what they said. Now, when we give our permission, that's why I say our opinions matter, our decisions matter, our beliefs matter. Because when we give permission and we accept something, then and it's not a positive, it's not something that's good for us, it will later cause us harm, then we're letting evil take over when we give them permission. Now, there's some of this out there is inverted. You see it inverted. They do a switcheroo. You say, oh, well, that they mean well. No, they don't. They don't mean well. It's just about rounding us up and putting us back into the matrix, into this programming, because they want to control us. They want us to be controlled. So it's time to prepare for the coming. Are we going to prepare for the coming? Have you prepared for the coming yourself out there? Do you even know what I'm referring to? The coming of change, an alternate reality. Where are you going? Hey, Raymond, thanks for joining us. Raymond's coming from Thailand. Hi. So we're going to begin to accept. We're going to prepare for the coming. We're going to have consideration, able to deal with change. You're going to begin to prepare mentally and emotionally and spiritually for this change that's coming upon you. Now, they're not saying it out there in the physical reality. Now, I know that it's changing. Everything's shifting around. They say certain arrests are coming. There's going to be these divine events that occur. God is going to come and he's going to bring the end of times, the second coming. The alternate reality is already here if that is the decision made. Yes, the alternate reality is here. You can step through into this new belief system. It's just changing your beliefs. That's all it is. It's about realizing and coming to terms with that everything that you were taught from the time that you were born was made up. And it was made up by those who were in power, those who had the most wealth. And they made money and currency the most important thing that we had to have. And that's artificial. The most important thing we're supposed to have is ourselves, an understanding of ourselves. So are you prepared for the coming? Have you prepared? So you're going to produce a plan. You're going to come up with a plan with all of your senses and your intuition. You're going to prepare. So beyond the physical world, what is it that you would like beyond the physical world within yourself? What are you trying to achieve here? What is your purpose? As we pull back the veil and we see what's beyond all of this darkness, we see the truths within ourselves and the physical reality. And it's going to be a little bit disconcerting for a while. It's going to be painful. You're going to be upset. You're going to say, oh, that's awful. That truth that's there, I don't want to see that. But we're going to need to see it to prepare. You have to see it. You have to go through this. It's part of your ascension. So this knowledge within you has been there all along. It's stayed dormant. These light activation codes with all your cells are waking up to who you really are and the truths that are out there. You're going to start to have memories that come through. You're going to start to realize that there's energies out there and frequencies out there and light out there, and you're going to connect to that. Your body, more light that's coming into your being is going to start to connect in a universal capacity. You're going to connect to oneness. And as you do that, you're not going to feel so alone. This physical reality out here with these other beings that we've been with, it's not going to be so imperative to you. You're not going to feel so, so painstakingly drawn to having to latch on to stuff or beings. You're going to feel more connected with something else that you can't see yet. But as we awaken and ascend, all of this is going to become visual to our eyes as we ascend. And so You're going to live in light, and you're going to evolve to your truest self, and you're going to be more discerning. You're going to accept all uncertainties. You're going to have more faith. You're going to have more belief to what's your truth. And you're going to accept yourself more. You're going to have more faith. So those who have suffered will be loved and healed. And the coming of a new day, divine events are about to occur. So these divine events are going to bring environmental effects. There'll be a time of mourning or of our past and pain, and the humanities will rise. There'll be those out there who are going to rise up. So we are the first timeline. We are from the first timeline. We are the first to arrive, the first volunteers. And so we are here to awaken the population, to awaken humanity, to help them heal from all the pain and suffering. So we're taking ourselves out of this mentality of being victims, and we're starting to empower ourselves. And we're realizing we have so much within us that we haven't even been utilizing. You know, our 98% junk DNA, it's not junk. It's worth something. So the judgment of the earth is going to come. It's going to come before us, and humanity's enemies and the wicked who sold their souls to evil, we are going to see them. We are going to see all of them. They'll be before us. There already are right now. If you open your eyes, you can see a lot of the evil coming forward. You know, satanic rituals, human trafficking, harm to children, you know, medicine given to us that harms us, foods given to us that harms us. All of this is coming online. We're seeing this. It's no longer a secret. You know, here's the period of manipulation. Have you ever seen this? So on this here, we see levels of knowledge and hierarchy within the institutions, the bank, the cashier, to the chairman of the board. So here's all the pyramids, the Illuminati bloodlines. There's the Illuminati, there's the Freemasons, there's the 12 bloodlines, there's the royal, the black royalty. There's all of these, you know, some of it goes all the way up into some of these spiritual organizations, these churches. And so here we have the period of manipulation, the banking, the business, the military, the politics, the education, the media, the religion, the intelligence agencies, all those 3-letter intelligence agencies. They're part of the government. They're part of the programming. They're part of control. They're to keep us there, trying to enforce control and power over us, dominion. Try to keep us enslaved so that they can use our productivity. Just keep them going. You know, use those beings so that we can get things done. And they're just telling us what to do. Those days are over. Because now that you've passed through this ascension gateway, you realize this other reality, this alternate reality, as Keith says, is we see everything before us, all the evil. The medicine drug companies, that's a big one. Those drug companies that are forcing and advertising. You know, advertising is paid for. Those are companies that are paying to advertise their stuff. So we buy it. We're a consumer. We're their client. That's all that is, all those commercials. Have you ever done a commercial? Have you ever seen a commercial? I grew up doing commercial auditioning. It's just about promoting something. It's selling and illegal drugs and organized crime. So there's a pyramid of manipulation that we are living under in the matrix. I'm not going to even call it the matrix anymore. They're going to call it the place of the wicked, the evil. So we've stepped out of it. We've gotten our freedom. Miracles are evident. There's going to be forgiveness, healing acts. God gives us all of our freedom back. Those who served themselves, the lawlessness, that's a big one, the lawlessness. Have you been seeing any lawlessness out there? You look at some of these videos online, or any of the social media shows it, because they're trying to desensitize us. They're trying to use our phone to try to direct us as what they want from us. But all of those who have been serving themselves are going to be banished forever. They're going to be sent away out of our reality, because now we're stepping into this new place. We've taken a big step. We've just lifted up our leg and we've taken a big step, and we're now in this alternate reality. So it's just a belief system. That's all it is. It's not like you're not traveling somewhere to another place, another location. It's just coming from within you. You can find it anytime you want, any moment. So you can ascend through the gateway, as we said, this opening that's now available to you. It's been there all along. You just had to step into it. You're going to find your own truth. You're going to have eternal peace. And all of the lawlessness will be banished forever, be sent away. No longer allowed to live in this moment with us, living in the light. They're not going to be allowed, because end of times is here. It's now the end of times. Have you heard about that? I have many angels. Whenever you see the end of times or you hear about it, some of these movies made in Hollywood, some of those movies out there, all those celebrities who make those movies, those false idols that we were like, oh, they're so wonderful, they're so beautiful, they're so fantastic. They've been leading us into darkness. They've been leading us astray. They don't care about us. They're just trying to make a buck. And so those who are in charge, I just said, all these secret organizations, evil, these angels that are coming before us. You see some of these films with these angels, and they say it's the end of times. We are headed to the end of times. I said Archangel Michael was standing next to me. He's been standing next to me. I could see him in my third eye. My third eye is activated. Is your third eye activated? I believe there's an angelic portal right here, and angels are descending and ascending from heaven to earth right here before us. And I hear this, sounds like a flapping of angel's wing in my right ear some of the time. Because they are. It's divine intervention. Divine intervention is here right now. Miracles can happen for you because it's the end of times. It's time for the coming. So let's be inspired as we see the last days, as we see and we realize that evil is diminishing. It's being exterminating. The two timelines, the good timeline, which was the ascension, the awakening timeline, and the timeline of evil to keep us in the matrix, in the programming, in the linear world, the simulation of believing we don't have a choice. Let's do that in a Nasara, whatever that is called, Nasara, which is this act of letting go of all of the internal revenue and all the credit systems, and have new elections and peace on earth. Let's have that Nasara come forward. So the last days, the fate is coming, the fate of our world. All the angels will come before us. Maybe we'll begin to, each of us will have visions. As you ascend, you come to a higher consciousness, a higher state. Your vibration is raising. What does that mean? That means that you're in love all the time. You're in joy all the time. You're in serenity. You can get there. You can pass through all the portals, all the gateways, and you can get there. You will be capable of seeing angels, seeing ascended masters, seeing those who have passed. And all of these light codes are coming through. I saw some last night. I felt all this vibration in my body, my arms and my legs, and my head, my crown chakra. Are you feeling vibrations on your crown chakra? So these angels are going to come forward. You're going to see them. They're messengers of God from the heavens to earth to protect humanity. Humanity is ascending. It's awakening. I said way back when I started doing these videos, I was like, oh, not many people have ascended. Not many people have awakened. Not many beings have awakened. I can say now, I feel, I sense as though, I guess a few weeks ago, a month ago, we were at 10%. Now I believe we're at 30%, 40% are awakened. I'm trying hard to hold the vibration, been on the front line for a while. Yes. Well, you know what, Garrett? Garrett, who's coming from Boston, Mass. Thanks, Garrett. Well, you know how do you get there? Spend time in nature. Spend as much time in nature as possible. Think of light, tune inward, go to your heart, be in love, love, love. Have some affirmations, say positive words like love, light, nature, trees. Forgive those who have injured you. That's a way. That's one of the ways to stay in a higher vibration, is through compassion, do compassionate acts. So these angels, these beings of light, they're here to help us and guide us and protect us. So the end of times, it's the fate. It's the fate of the globe. It's the fate of all of humanity. So beings based on good and evil, of whatever acts they've performed in their life, any actions while being on earth will be judged. Their actions will be judged. So the end of times, there'll be some predictions that occur. We'll see some environmental effects. We're going to see, and it's going to be within the earth, the air, the water. We're going to start to see some environmental effects. Religious deceptions we'll see. These are the end of times. It's like we are here in that moment. This is World War III. This is the spiritual war. It's not a physical war. It's a spiritual war. And it's taking place now on the physical reality. It's over, and it's going to demonstrate in the physical reality. It takes time for it to come within where we can see it. And it's about our thoughts, because our thoughts are very powerful. More of those who branch out and they look to another reality and they say, you know what? Everything isn't adding up. So I'm going to start to question. The truth seekers out there are bringing light onto the earth. The solar flares are bringing light onto the earth. We can see that in the Schulman resonance. The solar flash will. I sense that after we hit beyond 50% of awakened, we will then have the solar flash. I don't think it's going to take 90% or 100%, because evil is doubling down. They're harming more and more every day. Thanks for that grounding advice. Of course, anytime, Garrett. And so we are going to begin to see some wars in countries that we've spoken of. There'll be more protesting. There'll be some disease. We've already had some pandemics, but that was man-made, a man-made pandemic, wasn't it? That wasn't natural. You begin to wonder how much of these diseases out there are natural. Are they because they're seeding our skies? They're spraying us? Is it in the water? Is it in the food? Is it in the medication? Our body should be able to heal itself. There's what's called the med beds that are coming forward. And the med beds are a way for our bodies to heal back to what they should be. Like I said, as you ascend, I bet you're starting to look a little younger, because you have less stress. You'll have more energy. You'll last longer. Those out there will say, how come you're so youthful? How come you have so much energy? It's because you've ascended. So there'll be signs of heaven. There'll be signs of positive light coming. There'll be signs. Maybe they'll come through angelically. You'll begin to realize that heaven on earth is possible. Peace. So the end of times, it will kind of feel like this swirling. You'll be like this dark place that you're going down into. But guess what? You're going to come back up and out, because you have to kind of tune inward to all of the darkness. That's why they call it dark night of the soul, before you can reach out and find your truest self. People tell me I have gotten taller. Really? People think I'm tall. They think I'm 5'8". I'm 5'3". I'm petite. But for some reason, they believe that I'm much taller than I am. And I don't know why. I have no clue, but that's how I appear. So we will hear about, we will know about the four horsemen. Have you heard about that? That was in the Bible, that was in Revelations, the four horsemen. And that's the end of times. So the four horsemen, the white horse is religious, deception. The red horse is war. The four horsemen. The black horse is famine. The pale horse is disease and death. That's all so negative, isn't it? But you know what? Everything is coming online. Everything is coming positive. Step out into nature today. Let's leave on a high note, because we're getting ready to go today. So the skies, you will see the signs of heaven. Heaven's going to open up. I bet that the heavens, the light that we see is going to change. We'll see our dreams will begin to change. Your sleeping dreams, are your sleeping dreams changing? Were you being attacked in your sleeping dreams and now it's just indications of the future, of where we're going? I've had solar flash dreams. I had a dream last night with Donald Trump. Excuse me. And I've had other dreams with Donald Trump. Oh, my flowers are falling. Maybe they're not up high enough. So I've had dreams with Donald Trump before. I had this dream with Donald Trump last night. And Donald Trump was trying to give me advice. And in the past, it's so interesting. My dreams with Donald Trump have ranged. In the very beginning, he kind of led me to do these videos, to be a host. And then I had a dream that about 6 months ago, he was getting married. And this woman looked like Grace Kelly, and everyone was adorning him and cherishing him and loving him. My dreams are like I'm programming positive energy or something. That's amazing, Garrett. That's amazing. So you probably are promoting positive energy. And we are taking on new programs. The old programs were this mind control, and the new programming is all about love and light. So this dream that I had last night with Donald Trump, he was trying to give me advice. And I said, I don't need your advice anymore. And you know what I believe that meant? I believe that meant that he is a symbol. He's a symbol of something, of change. He's a symbol of a direction you can go into, an alternate leader, an alternate universe. But to me, it was more or less telling me that I don't need to look at a prophet or a leader. I can tune into myself, and I have personal power. So I listened to myself in the dream. I wasn't listening to him. Not that what he's saying isn't positive. I'm not saying that. I'm saying that I'm realizing that I have this within me. I don't have to look to an outside source. And that's why we're going to get onto psychic phenomena. So the skies, the heavens, so human behavior will begin to change with the end of times. You will see that money and currency is not going to be as important. Like I repeat truth to myself in mantras. Good. That makes sense. Yes. So we're going to, those that are proud and selfish beings and praised of earthly treasures are not going to be considered important anymore. In the end of times, as we ascend, we're realizing that, having the most expensive pen and the most fanciest home and being the richest is that's man-made, that's artificial. The world is changing, the world is shifting, it's evolving. And what's important is about organic, it's about natural, it's about human life. It's not about putting a brain chip in your head and turning into a robot. That's the matrix. They want to control us. That's all about control. So we're going to be all those out there that are unthankful, that are bragging. The end of times is going to be different for them. The physical world will no longer be as we know it. So there'll be a transformation here on Earth. It's pretty exciting. There'll be peace among all species. So I'm looking forward to this, the end of times. We're in it right now. This is the moment right now. So let's prepare. Let's have a new mindset. Let's consider maybe our 5 humongous goals. What do we want to do? What is our purpose as you tune inward? You begin to realize, because can you imagine that you don't need any money anymore to survive? What would you do with your time? What would you do? What would be important to you? That's what you have to consider right now, because that's what's coming forward. It's not going to be about stuff anymore. I mean, yes, there's value in that. I'm saying, oh, that's fun, but that's not going to be the focus anymore. It's going to turn to telepathy. It's going to tune into your senses. So let's get into that for a moment before I go, because I have things I have to do, in the matrix, in my physical reality. Okay, so ESP, you will begin to have extra sensory perception as you tune into your senses. As you drop down into all of your senses and you connect to all of your senses, your hearing, your third eye, your sight, your knowing, you surrendering to all of your senses, your smell, your taste, your feeling, your heart, or I meant your touch, your feeling. I always mix up saying those. So you have keen senses within you. Like I say, you're going to be able to see in the dark like an owl does. An owl can see in the dark. Cats can see in the dark. You will begin to see in the dark. You will not be relying on your sight. You're not going to be relying on your mind anymore. You're going to be relying on your on your senses, your hearing, your touch, your heart. Are you empathic? When you go into large groups of people, do you feel everybody's energy is sucking you, the life out of you? Do you feel as though you have no energy after you speak to a certain individual? They're taking all of your energy. Now, you don't have to necessarily not spend time with them. Just imagine light around you because you're empathic. So we are going to become very able to realize any warning signs, any premonitions, anything that can harm us. And it's just going to be a matter of fact. It's not going to be like, oh, I'm so alarmed by this. You're just going to become accustomed to knowing how things are going to go, because you are in control of your thoughts. Every thought has gravity towards it. Every thought that you have is going to take you in a certain direction. So if you say, well, that just happened to me, you're not going to be able to say that anymore. You're not going to be able to say, if someone calls you out on something, you say, oh, well, that just happened. No, nothing just happens to you. It's thoughts, words, and actions that get you there. If you do something that is naughty, if you do something that you feel shame about, how much of that was a willingness? How much of that did you allow to happen? Did you give yourself permission to do something naughty? So as you move forward and you realize that you have extrasensory perception, you have these skills, you have a toolbox that you're going to carry around with you, you're going to be mastering one of these senses. The more that you practice every day, we do like a 2-minute practice. We're going to do that in 1 second. We're going to practice tuning in, and then we're going to do the ball of light, and then I'm going to go. So it's guidance. Your ESP is going to guide you and protect you. It's like your intuition. You have this intuition within you, a knowingness of what is right for you. Don't ask someone else. Everyone out there, it doesn't matter. You have no control over anything out there. You only can have control over this. If you go around asking everyone what they think, it's a numbers game. Eventually you'll come up with someone who says one thing and someone who says another, the opposite. You have the answers within you. You must trust yourself. You have belief in yourself. Okay? I'm a little nervous to work with energy without proper education and understanding. Okay. Well, you know what? You can tune it up and down, Garrett. I say, imagine a dial, like a dial they used to have dials for everything. They don't really necessarily anymore. It's push button or verbal command. But if you imagine a dial, because I definitely feel it. Okay. So you when it comes to energy, basically you're going to have to open up yourself before you put some kind of guideposts around you, because you don't know your abilities. So at first, it's very important what Garrett is saying right now, because it it's it's about acclimating yourself. It's about understanding yourself. And he says understanding. It's about understanding your abilities. And if you block everything from happening and you have fear, we want to get out of this fear-based mentality. We want to be fearless. We want to say, I can do it. I can try it. What's the worst thing that can happen? I'll share with you, safety measures. So we're going to tune our abilities up or down. Maybe this way is 10 to 1. So if you feel as though you're receiving lots of energies, lots of impressions, sensations, some mental imagery, and it's too much for you, spirits start coming in contact with you. When I first started becoming an intuitive, I had all of these spirits every night. They were coming to me, or during the day, they'd be coming to me. I'd see them in my third eye. I'd hear voices, and I said, I can't take this. It's too much. I'm not a medium. I don't want to do this. And I shut it down. I shut down my clairaudience. I shut it down because I said it was scary, and I thought maybe evil was going to come and hurt me. It's not to say that there isn't evil energies out there. I'm not saying there isn't. But when you block one thing, you're blocking the good stuff too. So you might want to turn the dial up and down. Now, if you sense as though evil is coming through to you, like I said the other day, I was channeling and I felt pain in my head. And so I shut it down. A spirit came through and it was trying to question what I was doing. And it was trying to bring me to the other side. I think it was demonic. And I just got pain even talking about it. And so I shut it down. I said, nope, cutting that down. And then I did this. This is a way of getting it off you. I do this. So that's a suggestion, Garrett. If you want to get any junk off you, do that. I do that after a reading. Okay, so let's be aware of your surroundings, your perception. You also might want to imagine light around you, okay? There's no evidence or proof that's going to be given to you when you do this process, but you're going to synchronize your movements. You have the ability to, if you want to run into someone during your day, if you want to manifest, you have the ability. It's your belief system. It's what you think. It's about taking away any doubt. You're surrendering to your senses. So if you want to visualize a situation to create it, you can do that. You can close your eyes and you can imagine the best case scenario. Now you want to do that, but then you don't want to be thinking something negative. So be aware of whatever your thoughts are. If you can imagine them in a sentence, what do they look like? What are they? What are your thoughts every day? Over and over, I've been training myself. It's about training yourself. It's your muscle. It's a muscle that you have within you. All right, so let's do something right now before I go. Let's tune into our senses. So right now, what we're going to do is we are going to close our eyes. If you want to keep them open, closing my eyes, I realize if I'm doing the ball of light, it works, but when I close my eyes, I have an easier ability to tune into one of my senses because I'm not distracted by what's going on in my physical reality. And that's me. That's personal. Everything that I'm saying to you is personal. It's how it goes for me. It doesn't mean it's going to go this way for you. You might be a magnificent channeler, or you might have premonitions, or there's so many gifts you could have. And like I said, you have a toolbox that you're going to be, accumulating different and mastering different clairsenses. All right, so let's close our eyes. Let's let out a breath. And we do this impromptu. I just make it up as I go along. I'm not planning this. It's whatever direction I seem to, you know, possess that kind of takes me in. So we're going to close our eyes. We're going to let out a breath. We are going to relax our body. Now, maybe you want to open your hands, close your hands to release any tension, shift your body around. And when we do this, we're really having focus and concentration. And we're going to take away any critical reasoning. And if your thoughts come down into your senses while you're tuning into your senses, you want to send them back up. You're going to have no proof, and you must accept that. And you're going to surrender to all of your senses, your hearing, your smell, your taste, your sight, your third eye sight, maybe your visual sight, your touch, and your feeling. Okay? So we're going to let go. We're going to relax our bodies. We're going to drop down into our senses, and we're going to surrender. Okay? And so let's try right now with two senses. Let's practice with two senses. We're not working, we're practicing our senses. So I'm going to practice with my sense of touch, and I'm going to hold them up because let's see if maybe two of them together will actually transfer you to a more powerful impression. Okay, now I have my eye. I'm going to try to keep my eyes open, and let's see if it works for you, or you can close your eyes. So we're going to start by I'm going to use my sense of touch, and I'm going to use my sense of hearing, which seems to be more prominent lately. And what I'm going to suggest right now is I'm going to suggest that you tune into your senses, and I'm going to ask you to remember the last time that you were excited in your life, and to go to that moment. The last time that you were excited in your life, that you had so much excitement and joy in your heart that you were overwhelmed. And I'd like you to go to that moment and see what you can remember from that moment, what comes through to you. Does someone, what they were saying, the way someone looks, because this is channeling and taking you to a memory. It's taking you to another location. So you're going to have remote viewing. So let's go through our senses, our sense of touch and our sense of hearing. And we're going to tune into the last time that we got very excited and happy about something and joyful about something, and what you can remember from that. And I'm going to tune into that moment for myself. Okay, so I don't know what came through for you. So I went to this moment. I'm going to explain to you exactly why. So I had the last time that I remember this excitement, this feeling of joy, was when I found out that I was going to do this interview for this channel, International Spiritual News Network. And I was actually at a hair salon. And so I was first I went to my sense of, let's see, what did I do first? My sense of hearing, and what was I hearing? And so I heard all of the ladies around me, and I was watching all the hustle and bustle of what was going on. So I tuned into whatever my senses were telling me. So it's basically, I was shutting down everything else and listening what was going on around me. This is a way of really, really connecting and concentrating and dropping into and surrendering to your senses. And so I basically, you know, tuned into exactly what I was hearing. So I was hearing that, and I was, and you know, what was going on with me. And then I tuned into my sense of touch. And I realized through both of these senses that in the moment of this excitement, and the reason why I'm saying, when was the last time you had joy and excitement and happiness, is because we want to actually duplicate that. So how are we going to duplicate that? That's why I asked you, because this is a very strong feeling and emotion. So what are you feeling when that is happening to you? You want to duplicate that. And so what I realized was, in that moment when I felt that, prior to that moment of finding out that I got this interview, I was in a place of freedom in my mind. I was in a place of just relaxation. And that's important. So for me, that's what came through. I identified that when I have freedom and relaxation, something positive will come through for me. Now, I don't know what it's like for you. Powerful stuff. I went back to the exact moment in time and I saw a few days in a minute. Wow, that is amazing. See what can happen with our clear senses? Okay, so now let's do the ball of light, because it's time for me to go. We're going to rub our hands together. We're going to take them apart, and we're going to take them away from our body. Okay, and if you want to keep them like this, that's entirely up to you. If you want to make a ball of light, anyone who's joining us, please like the video and subscribe to the channel. Okay, so here we are, and we have this ball of light, and we're bringing energy onto the earth, right? And it is a way to take us to another dimension, to astral travel. So today we're going to say, with the ball of light, I'm going to imagine that this ball of light is the size of me and my hands are touching it. Hey, Hamano, thanks for joining us. I hope you liked the video and subscribe to the channel. Thanks for joining us. Hamano's coming from Transylvania. Okay, so let us imagine that this ball of light is the size of ourselves. So I'm 5'3", so the ball of light is as big as I am, and my hands are on the ball of light. So I'd like you to imagine the ball of light is that big. It's expanded to the size of your physical body. And so that's powerful right there, isn't it? So it's in front of us. So let's go into a moment right now. We're doing all of the little steps, which is dropping down into your clear senses. It's about letting go of any beliefs or doubt, not having any critical reasoning. It's just our senses. So you're going to surrender to your senses. Okay, so I'm visualizing, I'm imagining that this ball of light is the size of me and my hands are touching it and it's in front of me. And so let's see. Now, when you do this, maybe you go into your third eye and you have the answer. Maybe you tune into one of your senses, your sight, your touch, your feeling, your hearing, your taste, your smell. So I'm going to tune in and let's see which sense comes forward. Oh, so I immediately tuned into my sense of feeling. That's what came forward. And so I'm touching this ball of light, and what it's telling me is I'm hearing moaning, I'm hearing crying, I'm hearing screaming, I'm hearing pain, because this ball of light is showing me what's going on the earth, all the suffering. Humanity is suffering right in this moment. It's making me feel like I'm going to get sick, though. I'm feeling like I'm going to throw up. Wow. And I'm getting, for a child is coming to me and asking me to help them. He has dark hair. So he can see me. This child can see me. It's interesting, a child can see me. Asking me for money, asking me to help him. I don't sense the little boy can see the ball of light, just sees me. So I'm going to get out of feeling. And I'm going to go into another sense and see what happens before I go. I'm going to tune into my hearing right now. I tuned into my feeling. I'm going to tune into my hearing. And I'm still, the ball of light is the size of me. So it's 5'3", and my hands are on it. Let's see what I receive now with the ball of light. Going into my hearing. Okay, so I'm hearing planes. I'm hearing a lot of activity, a lot of noise, a lot of movement. I'm hearing a lot of sounds. The sounds are so intense that there's no break. It's just constant loudness, constant metal hitting metal. A lot of it sounds very like catastrophes, like there's catastrophes going on. So this ball of light has taken me to another location. It's teleported me, I believe, there's maybe it's just on the globe because the ball of light is so expansive that maybe it's taking me to a lot of sounds that are going on the earth. Okay, so I'm going to put anybody who's had any kind of impressions, please write them in the chat. And I'm going to put my hands back together. And that was very interesting in that moment. So this is very, as Garrett says, this is very powerful. So let's practice our clear senses as we go throughout the day. I'm going to spin light, and I'll be doing another video again tomorrow. I don't know if it'll be the morning or the evening. I haven't quite decided yet. But you can find me and you can watch it after. I post it after. You'll see it on YouTube. So I'm spinning light and you're in the center of it. Today we spoke about Ascension Gateway, which is an opening that's you're able to access, and you're able to ascend to joy, wisdom, grace, and you're going to choose a path. And we're leaving behind the world that's being consumed with materialism and ego. And then we are rising to a higher level. We've awakened. You have awareness to yourself and awareness to others, and you're preparing. You're in the center, and I'm spinning light. You're preparing for the coming. So you're making ready for peace on earth, environmental effects, healing acts, God giving us our freedom and our personal power. And you're going to find your own truth, right? So the end of times is coming. We are in them right now, in this moment. It's the last days. It's the fate, okay? The skies, the heavens are opening up, and we're going to see everything wicked and evil is showing themselves. And like I said, the angels, it's the end of times. The angels are coming forward to protect us. Okay, so everyone be well. Have a wonderful day. Sending you blessings. Bye. Bye, Hamano. Take care. Bye, Garrett. Bye, everyone who's joined us, Keith and Raymond. Bye.